Welcome back to the Manor, Entropians. Julian McBain here, and today I am going to be re-recording my Onixio video. And we're going to be discussing a couple of other things as well that I did not get in my 16.5 update vid. So, first off, we're hunting with the Sollomate Onixio, which is the TT rifle. I did do a video on this once. Unfortunately, it did not. I had done it the same time I did my portal run through, which should be coming out here pretty quick. And because of that, it did not end up. The aspect ratio got screwed up. So, since the aspect ratio got screwed up, we are going to re-record this video. And the entire idea is to kind of illustrate what you can do with these weapons. I probably should have portioned off a part of the ammo I had. So we got 355, we'll bring it down to 345, so it's like a 10 pet hunt. It's going to be approximate. Sometimes those things happen. Since we do have the new challenge system up, let's bring up the Caudadergus challenge just to kind of track it. And if we shoot any others, we'll bring those up too. I went out to Orthos and did a few drones, and it's because of how low level they are. Of course, it's slow progress, but you still make progress. As you can see, these don't provide a whole lot of progress on the Caudadergus challenge. But they still provide. And I think that's probably one of the more important things about this new system that Mindark has come up with, is that it's much easier to know whether or not what you're doing is actually contributing and what it's contributing to your progress. And you get good skills out of it too. And you get more selection in your skills now. So the whole new hunting challenge system, I'm thrilled with. Like when they declared that they were resetting everything, I was like, okay, it's a little irritating, but hey, you get a bunch of free skills out of it, right? No, they did it right, because they're giving you a huge selection on what you can do. They're giving you a lot of freedom, and it's a lot more transparent. And the use of the codex is far more user friendly than the old system. So, for those of you naysayers out there, this is the way it needed to go. This is the kind of quality of life adjustment that's actually worth it. The other thing I wanted to talk about, and this is something that I haven't talked about in the past. There are reasons I have not talked about it in the past. Now that those reasons are no longer an issue. Crystal Palace deeds, not deeds, but shares became tradable in the 16.5 update. For those of you who haven't tried it yet, you just click on the type of share you want to trade. If you want to sell, you can produce a sell order by hitting sell, choose the number of shares, and then set a price. Or you can buy, and you can go through all the sell orders, pick your price, which everyone's going to pick the lowest one, and then purchase as many shares as you want. Oh, wow. And it updates in real time. Someone just dropped a button. Oh, no kidding. A whole bunch just went on sale, but it does not do it necessarily in price order. Let's try resetting this and see if it redoes it. Okay, it redoes it in price order afterward. Huh. Okay, that's cool. That was something I did not know. And then if you have sell orders, it's under sell orders. And here's the market. Looks like roughly 10% of the total shares. It's not quite. There's 46.5 out of 500,000 available to purchase. 10% of the total available would be 50,000. So it's like 9%, 9.5%. But that's not insignificant. That's a large chunk up for grabs. And they are going for more than they initially sold for, unsurprisingly. I mean, anyone could have called that one. I'm not even sure that added anything to my berry clutch challenge. Nothing visible. But you know Mind Art, they do everything to like the 4th decimal point. We can't see the 4th decimal point. So that was the last part that was brought into the 16.5 update. I forgot to cover it the other day. I'm sorry about that. But I did think it was important to show off that particular aspect of the game for those of you who are looking at doing shares trading. Deeds, of course, have not changed. Those are still tradable in the auction house. I am curious to see what and who else takes advantage of the shares system. It would not surprise me if Chi, who runs Entropia Fund, was to break down their fund into something similar, if they can do it at this point. They've already got a pretty complex system going. But besides Big Industries is the other candidate for it. You know, being the largest player-owned corporation by revenue, I'm pretty sure. Or at least by activity, if nothing else. Big Industries has really been kind of a mainstay in Entropia universe, so it would not surprise me if they quote-unquote went public. Now, please keep in mind, none of these are actual investments. In a very real sense, these are extremely risky. So just be aware before you buy. These are not securities. There we go. So one of the benefits to TT weapon hunting is that, or at least when you're hunting punies at the very least, you can often kill the mob before it reaches you. And that means you're not taking any damage, you're minimizing the amount of ped you're spending. You're minimizing the amount of damage you take. And that means that you're being very eco. Now, hunting punies is pretty much never eco, but it is an important part of getting your skills up. Remember, everything you spend always goes somewhere, with the exception of repairing things. Well, even that goes somewhere. That goes into the pockets of Mind Art to keep the lights on. But unless you're repairing things, you're getting that money back somehow. You're getting it in skills, you're getting it in loot. There is a time when you will receive less than you spend. Like I'm definitely receiving less than I'm spending here, or at least in all likelihood I am, because I am way above. Well, hunting punies isn't super efficient to begin with. There is an efficiency cost. I don't know what that is, and then there's the tax, which I'm pretty sure is set around 10%, because when you go to a owned land area, suddenly you're getting a bunch more loot than you get just generalized hunting. We're doing pretty good, though. Actually, we're doing fairly well. Not a whole lot of animal muscle oil, but we're getting a good chunk back in Shrap. Now keep in mind, my skills gain is going to be much lower than what you as a new player would get. And that is because there is an exponential diminishing return on skill, or more accurately, skills become more difficult to get the higher level you are. So getting skill rank 2 is going to be slightly harder than skill rank 1. Skill rank 3 is going to be harder than 2. 4 is harder than 3. And it goes like that for all of the skills. So just be aware that it is going to be harder and harder to get those skills as you go. For instance, I've gotten less than half a point of laser weaponry technology. But if I had nothing in weapons handling rather, but if I had nothing in weapons handling, you would be seeing that skill rocket upward. And you saw that displayed when I did power fists. You know, I had no power fist skills. I was hunting low-level mobs, but it was the power fist skill was just flying upward. And that was because I had not hit that curve. Now, I have seen the curve adjust over the course of the year and a half I've played Entropia Universe. Not a lot, but a little bit. If you watch the numbers, you can notice the curve adjusting as it happens over the course of a long period of time. And I think what that is MindArc just making sure the game balance remains where it needs to be. And as a games developer, they want to do that, right? They want to make sure that the curve isn't too sharp, but it's not too shallow either. Because a shallow curve makes for a boring game, and a sharp curve makes for, well, Dark Souls. So, this game is not Dark Souls. They don't want it to be Dark Souls. So, just be aware that the difficulty curve for getting skills does adjust over time as MindArc tweaks the balance. Now, this does lead into some speculation with all of the changes that MindArc is doing. You know, they did one major change. It was about 6 months ago. They altered the entire interface to make it far more modern and user-friendly. And now they've changed the entire mission system to make it so that it's pretty much hands-off. You just have to shoot a mob in order for or kill a mob in order for its challenge to come up. They're still working on other missions as far as I know. A whole bunch of redundant mission brokers have gone away. All the terminals are starting to go, or a good chunk of the terminals are starting to go away. Now I hope they don't get rid of all the terminals, because I feel like that's a part of the flavor of Entropia Universe. You know, you have your trade terminal, your repair terminal, your revive terminal. It really helps to bring out the sci-fi aspects of it, where you do a lot of your transactions instead of with an NPC, with a terminal instead. But, and I've said this before, and I know that, like I said, I know you can emulate it on using certain softwares, but I think that they're planning on porting this to mobile, or at the very least to Chrome. But I think that mobile is a thing that's I think it's going to get ported to Android. I really do. It might even get ported to Mac, so you don't have to use Wine. And so I think that by doing this, they're making it easier for them to port it. And I know that the higher level Snapdragon processors can handle Entropia Universe. I have seen videos of emulated versions of it. Qualcomm has come out with some amazing processors lately. And, I mean, let's face it, the Snapdragon 835 is pretty much an i5 processor. Just a really tiny one. And the most modern phones have OLED screens, which are actually far more sharp and vibrant than most computer monitors are. Which kind of frustrates me, because I went looking for an OLED screen for my computer. You gotta buy a 55-inch television or a tiny-ass phone to get an OLED. What the hell, guys, you know? It's like you've got this beautiful technology, you put it on the tiniest screens possible and the biggest screens possible, but not the middle screens. I can't fit a 55-inch television on my desk. I don't want anything that big. It'd have to be sitting on the other side of the room. And I don't want cables, you know, I've done the whole string the cables around the room thing before. We're about halfway through by the looks. Now, back when networking used to be done with nothing but switches and Cat5 cable, we did that. We ran a network in the house using a switch, Cat5 cable. Internet was still dial-up. Took us 2 hours to hang the wire so it was out of the way and could get through the doors. We never quite got it to work right. Back then, networking software was not user-friendly. And you got an amateur, I mean, I was 14, so you're talking you got an amateur trying to set up a home network. Back when you needed to be an engineer to set up a home network. I mean, we got the computers to talk to each other. We could transfer files back and forth. But we could. What I wanted to do was game, and that never happened. I wanted to be able to invite a friend over and hold a little miniature LAN party. How many of you actually remember LAN parties? Drop a comment down below. I would love to know. LAN parties were fun. I'm showing how much gray I have by mentioning them, but you know, when I was in college, they would have every weekend they would hold a LAN party. It was just, it was the thing. You know, you went down to the computer lab, and the computer sciences and engineering lab would open up to the whole school, and it's like, you know, you go in, if there's an open computer, you pick it up. Most commonly, they were playing Counter-Strike Source and Unreal Tournament 3 or 4. I don't. Oh, I saw fruit. There it is. Played a lot of Counter-Strike Source, played a lot of Unreal Tournament. It was good stuff. But yeah, no, back on topic. I scrolled there for a second. I do have the feeling that probably within the next year or two, we're going to hear news that they've ported the game. And I know that one of the issues they're going to have is they have to test everything on the Calypso servers, and then they're going to have to port it to the other Planet partners. So like this system, this whole challenge system only works on the Calypso servers right at the moment. When you go to a Planet partner, they're still using traditional methods, which is fine. This is more like an open beta while they figure out what they're doing. Or not what they're doing, but to make sure that it's stable and nothing goes wrong with it. And then they have to, when the next, I don't know if it'll be the next Planet partner update, or if they're going to roll it out gradually. I don't know how that's going to work, but I have the feeling that what they're going to do is they're going to, if it's not active on Monria, which Monria is kind of a unique situation, so I don't know if it's automatically rolled out on Monria or not. If anyone's on Monria, can you check to see if it's been rolled out on Monria? I might have to take a trip over there just to find out. Monria not being a true planet partner, they've got a different contract with MindArc than the standard planet partner contract. May not be subject, or may already have this rolled out. They're not subject to the same rule set. I don't know how the whole thing works, but I have read a little bit from the Monria or our developer group that's organizing it. That's why there's no tax on Monria. It's basically a non-profit. And you can definitely tell that there's no tax on Monria. The amount of loot you get is substantially higher than Calypso. It's a little bit better than Cyrene per mob, I think, but not a lot. Cyrene's tax rate is extremely low. Okay. Got about 3 pet and ammo left. How much ammo does each... You know, I never checked to see how much ammo and ped each shot takes. Roughly 2 pack. It's like 1.5 pack worth of ammo. So it's not a lot. You can do a lot of hunting on 10 ped. Kind of back away from the herd here. So as you can see, even though I'm not getting a huge number of skills, I'm still getting skills. Best yet, I haven't taken hardly any damage at all. Actually, I'm not sure I've taken any damage, because I've been able to keep them at range far enough to keep them from hitting me. And that's one of the benefits to hunting out here instead of at Camp Icarus. You're not jammed into this herd. You're not competing with other players. You can stay at the edges and prevent them from spawning behind you. There we go. That happens. So maybe instead of no competition, we should say very little competition. Okay. Looks like he bit off more than he could chew. Got about 1 ped left. Let's kill... We'll take 2 more mobs and then we'll call it the hunt. Tab targeting in this game still sucks. Okay, tab targeting in every game sucks. All in all, we did okay. Got a little more than half of our ped back in shrapnel. You do the 101, it's a little bit better than that. I mean, it's not perfect, not by a long stretch, but... we'll call that the hunt. No, we actually did about 8.5 ped worth of, we'll call it a full 9. Well, no, because 5, yeah, we'll call it a full 9. Head back to the Half Moon Cove. This is the one thing, you will end up further out. If you want to stay close so that you're not running long distances to the TT, then you will want to keep a track of it because it's easy to get far away from camp, and this is anywhere. Hunting around Half Moon Cove, there's usually more space for you to avoid mobs as you're running back. The herds are a bit thinner, or I should say their distances are greater between each other. It's one of the other reasons I like hunting up here as opposed to Camp Icarus. Which, when I was doing the Puny Challenge, you think I would have spent more time hunting here, but I didn't. I wish I had. I wish I had realized that, you know, there's nothing. There's no competition here. There was one person we saw the whole time. As versus, when you go to Camp Icarus, the place is usually hunted clean. So, Half Moon Cove. It's right here on the map. It should be an automatic teleporter when you get to Camp Icarus. Oh yeah, they died. And it has all the essentials here. Plus it has that cool looking mushroom building. I don't know that you can actually get into that building. That would be cool. Oh wait, there's an opening up top. I don't think that's a window. Let's quickly tally up. We're just gonna do this in our heads here. So 5.8 plus 48 pec. So we got 6 ped back out of 9. Not a bad. I would say that's not a bad return per expectation. What the hell? There's floating rocks in there. There's like, whoops, there's literally floating rocks in there. And it has a machine piece of some sort on it, like an eye. That's bizarre. Like, I wonder what in the storyline of Mind Arc, what purpose these buildings serve. Are these like power generation stations? Oh. It's one of Mind Arc's official life support. It's Hermes. That's interesting. Usually their official live support folks sit down by the teleporters. In fact, I saw one there earlier. That means he must be Afka. First time. Usually if they're on duty, you'll see Hermes hanging at about here, facing the teleporter and waiting for players to ask them questions. And they're all good people. If you ever need help, the live support in this game, they are fantastic people and they're always willing to help you. Okay, guys, that's what we got for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe down below. We are on the road to 13 million subscribers, one subscription at a time, so make sure you subscribe. Guys, I really appreciate all of the support. You all have a wonderful day.